Beneath the thick layers of snow covering the taiga forests of Russia's far north, there are nomads who have sustained their way of life for generations. Not everyone can survive in a place where temperatures plummet to -70 degrees Celsius. Yet here, in a makeshift shelter deep in the snow-covered wilderness, I met a small family of 4 who live amidst one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth. The man, Ivan, dressed in a thick sheepskin coat, with a rugged face and sharp eyes, greeted me warmly. Beside him was his wife, Anna, her hands skillfully preparing a meal from the simplest ingredients they had hunted or gathered from the forest. Inside their tent, lined with animal skins and dry wood, were their 2 children, a little girl around 5 years old and a 6-month-old baby boy, wrapped tightly in thick sheep's wool garments. We live with nature. The cold here isn't something you defeat easily, but once you get used to it, it just becomes a part of life, Ivan said in a deep, calm voice. Ivan and Anna belong to a small group of Nenets nomads, one of the few communities that still maintain their ancient way of life in this taiga forest. They move with their reindeer, building temporary camps in the woods, surviving through hunting and herding, facing each day as a new challenge. While Ivan often ventures out to hunt reindeer or set wolf traps, Anna is responsible for taking care of the children and preparing meals from whatever they manage to gather. Under the flickering light of the fire, she gently sings a lullaby to their baby boy, asleep in her arms. Living in the far north at -70 degrees Celsius is not just a test of willpower, but a constant battle against life-threatening dangers every day. Stepping outside, each breath can instantly turn to ice. Numbness quickly sets in, and even a small mistake in maintaining warmth can lead to death from hypothermia. But danger doesn't only come from the cold. Sudden blizzards can wipe out all traces, leaving nomads lost in a frozen wilderness. Life for this family is anything but easy. They constantly face unpredictable weather, dangerous wildlife, and the loneliness of an endless wilderness. But they have no plans to change. Ivan and Anna don't just consider this icy land their home. It is their source of life, a place that keeps their cultural traditions alive. We know that one day, maybe our children will leave for warmer places, but here, at least they will grow up with gratitude and resilience, Anna said as she gently patted her daughter, who was playing in the snow outside the tent. It's not just the cold. The taiga is home to dangerous wildlife like gray bears. When food becomes scarce, these animals are not afraid to attack nomads' camps, threatening their lives in reindeer herds. Outside, the snowflakes were falling thickly, and the wind howled through the barren pine branches, creating a sound reminiscent of wild beast cries. In this desolate wilderness, Ivan and Anna remained calm. They had grown used to the silence of the taiga, and isolation did not trouble them. On the contrary, it was their way of life. In a place where life seems impossible, Ivan and Anna's family not only survive, but thrive. They are not just enduring, but continuing a way of life that has existed for thousands of years in the wild. In the taiga of the far north, where temperatures drop to -70 degrees, nomads continue their story of survival, a story of patience, courage, and the love of family in one of the coldest regions on Earth. The pale morning sun struggled to break through the thick blanket of snow. I said my goodbyes to Ivan and Anna, those resilient souls living in the icy taiga forest. They waved with warm smiles as I departed. Yet my journey had to continue. I was heading to another family, old friends from childhood, whom I used to visit whenever I had the chance. I set out along the snow-covered paths, feeling a sense of eager anticipation. The family I was about to visit was better off than Ivan's. They had saved for years to buy a snowmobile, replacing the reindeer they used to rely on. This vehicle not only made travel easier, but also brought joy to the children. Every time they went to fetch water from the distant stream, the kids would eagerly hop onto the sled, pulled along by their father across the vast fields of white. Laughter echoed through the forest, filling the silent expanse with warmth. When I arrived, I was met by familiar faces. The family had 7 members: the grandmother, Nina, the father, Andrei, who was about 15 years older than me, and his wife, Svetlana. However, Svetlana was away today, down in the town selling the produce and fish they had harvested over the past few days. At home were Grandma Nina, Andrei, and their 4 children. 3 daughters and a son, the youngest of whom was a quiet, well-behaved girl. The tent was alive with the cheerful chatter of the children. I was welcomed with the kind familiarity of long-lost friends reuniting. Grandma Nina, with her silver hair and kind smile, sat by the fire. Her hands worked swiftly as she peeled potatoes, preparing the stew she often made for special occasions. The scent of meat and potatoes filled the small tent, making the space feel cozier than ever, especially in contrast to the bitter cold outside. Nina was the heart of the family, not only through her love, but also with the nourishing meals that kept them strong through the harsh winter. Their eldest daughter, Marina, about 15 years old, busily set the table, arranging bowls and utensils for the family meal. She had inherited her mother's hard-working nature, carefully placing each wooden bowl and silver spoon in preparation for dinner. The small tent was brought to life by the flickering flames of the hearth. The warmth from the fire was essential for survival, fighting off the Taiga's unrelenting cold. Outside, the snow stretched endlessly like a white curtain, but inside, the atmosphere was filled with warmth and peace. Andrei, a quiet and strong man, sat by the fire, his eyes following the children as they played. He smiled as his son, Mikhail, excitedly climbed into a small sled. Every time we go to fetch water, they can't wait to ride the sled. It helps them forget about the cold, Andrei told me, his voice filled with pride and affection. After lunch, everyone stepped outside the tent to finish their remaining tasks, a routine necessary to prepare for the evening meal. In the taiga, the daylight fades quickly and the cold settles in swiftly, engulfing everything. They had to make the most of every second, hurrying to complete their work and retreat back to the safety of the tent. With temperatures dropping to minus 70 degrees Celsius, staying outside for too long could cause severe hypothermia, threatening both their health and lives. The afternoon was also a brief opportunity for the children to play while the adults worked. Andrei gathered extra firewood and reinforced the tools they needed to survive. Meanwhile, others cleared the thick layer of snow that had accumulated on their tent. These tasks, though simple, were vital in ensuring the family's safety and warmth through the night. Despite the harsh conditions, everything was accomplished swiftly and smoothly. The children and I helped Grandma Nina carry the food back into the tent to begin the preparations for dinner. The air was cold, but the satisfaction of completing the day's chores made the atmosphere feel lighter, and the warm tent awaited our return. Finally, dinner was ready. The whole family gathered around the wooden table, sharing steaming bowls of hearty stew and soft, flavorful potatoes. Outside, the wind howled, but inside, the sound of cheerful conversation filled the tent. It was nothing extravagant, but the simple meal was rich with happiness and deep familial bonds. That evening's dinner was more than just a meal. It was a connection between family members, a flame that sustained life in the heart of this frozen wilderness. As I watched the firelight flicker, I realized that love and family unity were the true forces helping them endure the relentless challenges of nature here. Another day in the taiga came to a close, where the bitter cold was always overcome by the warmth of the human spirit.